Welcome to Vox Scream, a Kill Team podcast where we aim to help players of all skill levels supercharge their game and separate the signal from the noise. I'm Mark Meyer, joined by Kill Team heavyweights George Pratt and Joe Gallo. We're coming to you from the Triangle region in North Carolina. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Vox Scream. We've got George and Joe in the house. What's up?
So, happy 3rd edition, everybody.
Yes, it is out. We've been playing some games. We've got a lot we want to get through today. We're going to spend the next couple episodes going through all of the faction rules. Obviously, it would be ridiculous for us to go through all of them with any sort of meaningful depth in one episode. So we're going to break it down by super faction. Today, we're going to be talking about the Imperium teams that aren't Marines, and it's going to be fun on a bun. But before we get into that, any initial thoughts after just quick games we played in the last couple days?
Yeah, man, I've gotten 3 games in now with the new edition. I like it a lot, first off. Everything just in general feels more fair. I think the biggest one for me is that indirect is no longer a thing.
Sort of. Seek is a thing.
Right, but it's not, there's no more, it doesn't, or at least I haven't encountered like any real grenade alpha strikes I really have to worry about, like really, especially with the grenades going to 4s.
You know what's really funny? Jaegers can still get their grenade turn 1 with Seek, because if you pop a grenade or use a grenade with the tracker, it gets Seek Light not obscuring and also punishing.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, sorry, besides the dwarves, I guess I'm really.
I mean, the Aquilon Alpha Strike it can be nasty too if you're not prepared for it.
Yeah, I will say that that's also just their identity, so it's not like.
Oh, sure.
Like it's supposed to be the premier and probably only Alpha Strike team in the game now. That is actually not terribly hard to play around, and I've actually been theory crafting with the Aquilons, and I don't remember if they're on my list or not, but I definitely have some theories that I want to share with the people about how to play Aquilons going forward when people figure them out.
Oh, yeah.
I've also got 3 games in with the new edition. I'm having a blast so far. I do think it is a better game overall.
Yep. Agreed.
I still don't know how I feel about the TAC ops and missions. It might just be a skill issue, but I find it very difficult to both perform the crit op and the TAC op at the same time. And it might just be because I have 2 games in with Jaegers, and I tried to make infiltration work both times, and I think infiltration is hot doo-doo. So that could be it.
Also, Kill Confirmed is too good. Way too good.
Kill Confirmed is kind of amazing.
And it either needs to change or they need to elevate all the other TAC ops to be better, which I would prefer the latter to the former.
I've played 2 games now. I feel like I agree. I really like the way that Kill Team 2024 is playing. Feels like a lot of fun. I think that I've enjoyed playing the new missions so far, and I've enjoyed the way that scoring works now. I really like the primary op. It's a very fun element of the game. Kill op's a lot of fun. I think it's just we're very used to getting a lot of synergy between scoring primary and secondary in 2nd edition, and there's still some of that. It's hard because the action economy is just so much tighter now that it's definitely hard to really focus on maxing primary, or rather crit op and TAC op each turn.
I'm curious, do y'all feel like what it's because after my 3rd game, I was starting to feel like what I think is going to develop is certain teams, and this may be a dumb or obvious thing, but certain teams are going to discover they're just better at doing certain things. So certain teams are just better at kill op, certain teams are just better at primary, and so on and so forth. And we'll just basically ignore the other half. So for example, in my last game I did yesterday, I effectively just ignored the primary as much as I physically could and focused on my secondary and kill op. And that took me to the day, because I know for a fact that scouts are just really good at killing elves. But I was able to take that strategy forward. And I think what's going to happen is certain aspects of the game are just going to get ignored by certain teams, and I don't know what the counterplay to that exactly is going to be yet.
I think you may be getting at like one of the interesting things about it, but I don't think it's like simply ignoring. I think it's focusing, right? Obviously, you're going to try and do everything you can to score as many points as you can on Turning Point 2. But as the game develops a little bit more and the board state kind of solidifies itself as you're going on, you might have to like make a choice of where you're going to score your points, right? It'd be to say like, oh, I'm just going to ignore the primary. That's one thing, sure. But like, I think you just have to be like dynamic in the sense where it's like, okay, well, if I'm focusing on my kill op and they're on an objective, I'm not just going to ignore the thought of potentially scoring primary points. I think we are so used to thinking about like the 2-point swing, right? I get this objective, I score the point and they don't. Those are still a thing, but 2 points is all you can score in a turn now. So it's like I may be giving up a point on primary. I might just be getting my home objective, but I'm doing that in order to get both points on my tac op. It's going to take me so long to call it crit op and not primary. What
I know, dude. I'm confusing the shit out of it too. Don't feel bad.
Let's dig into some of the details on the teams, and maybe we can look at some of the ways that these teams are going to interact with the new scoring. We've decided to split all 33 teams amongst the three of us. And so over these weeks, we'll each have a focus, but the peanut gallery will have plenty to say on all of these teams, I'm sure. I'm going to kick us off with the Death Korp. I love the Death Korp. This is a team that looks very similar to how they were in the last edition, but they've got some interesting changes.
Beloved team, by the way. Beloved. One of the most popular teams in the game.
A lot of fun. Yeah. They've got the same sort of loadout that they had before. You can take the 4 troopers. It's actually basically printed on the operatives you take. You take 4 trooper operatives. You have, instead of the ancillary support options to take instead of troopers, what you can do now is up to 4 times, instead of taking one of those trooper operatives, you can select 1 Death Korp ploy to cost you 0 CP for the battle. And that's pretty strong in a game where you are starting with less CP than you were before.
Yeah, they did the same thing with Brood Bros too. I didn't realize that they did it with the Death Korp.
Oh, yeah.
That's neat.
Honestly, I think there are a lot of situations you would take 13 troopers then, yeah?
Yeah, because that's still going to give you 12 activations, between 11 and 12, depending on how you want to use the Confidant. And I can look at the ploys that they've got and see a lot of opportunity for like stuff that you would want to take almost all the time. They can now take security and seek and destroy,
which is good because actually security, even if they were locked to security is not bad.
Security might be the best next to recon.
I like security of the TAC of archetypes I've played so far. I don't think that infiltration is hot garbage, but I think commandos may just be in a unique position to be very good at infiltration. But that may be getting too far afield for now. Anything else that stands out to me in the operative selection, the Watchmaster, your leader, can still take plasma pistol power weapon. Plasma pistols being a little nerfed, but it's still fun that they get to kind of take that loadout. Everything else is pretty similar down the board in terms of what the operatives look like on your roster. Guardsman orders, very similar. Take aim. We knew that has been changed to, instead of the former ceaseless, it is now balanced in shooting attacks that exclude the mortar barrage and the remote detonator. Fixed bayonets, same sort of thing. Ceaseless in melee has been changed to balanced in melee. Dig in, same sort of thing. Reroll a defense die. Move, unchanged. Only for the reposition action, though. So maybe not unchanged. Maybe a slight nerf to melee vet guard. Siege Warfare, we talked about previously as how that is awesome, giving all of your Death Korp operatives saturate.
Oh my god, so good, dude. So
if I was going to take one free ploy, that might be the one that I'm taking.
I mean, just all the time guns with saturate. Like, yeah, my melted gun doesn't give a fuck about that cover.
We have bemoaned a little bit amongst our community as well as on the podcast about how the proposition of going up onto Vantage and shooting an operative on conceal in cover is much less of just like an automatically great idea as it was previously because of the improved cover save, either double retaining a normal or retaining a crit. Saturate is the solution to that problem.
Oh my god, and it is such a good solution.
Yeah, and the fact that it's team wide is really 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 good, and I think
Yeah, every shot you take is going to benefit from that.
Thank God they hit on 4s, and there's like barely any rerolls in the team.
So we look down the list, take cover, pretty much the same there. If you're in cover and are able to retain if you can retain a cover save, improve the friendly's operative's save stat by 1. Not bad. Clear the line, accurate 1 in melee, same sort of thing. Regroup is pretty interesting because it's going to let you give a bunch of operatives a free dash towards one particular Death Korp operative. So some fun repositioning, or rather, I guess you can't say repositioning since that is a specific thing in the game, but a fun way to move operatives out of just their normal activations. Good way to sort of maybe like get some interesting counteract moves in those rare situations where the Death Korp will get a counteract and then move them back into cover safely.
I feel like if you're counteracting though, like you might have lost the game.
Yeah, things have gone very bad if you are counteracting in the early parts of the game with Death Korp. Inspirational leadership unchanged, just a chance to change the guardsman order of somebody near and around the Watchmaster. Combined arms unchanged. In life, shame, a new firefight ploy, giving a Death Korp operative all of the guardsman orders when they activate. This is pretty interesting. I see I see a chance for like some interesting 3 APL, like, charge, fight, shoot shenanigans with this.
For thematic reasons, I really like it as well. It's like that moment when the lone guardsman achieves the objective but dies in the process.
Yeah. With that in mind, though, In Death Atonement, not as good of a ploy as it used to be. It is now just a single free action, and they are injured for it. And it basically does not give you that chance to sort of remain in the kill zone for a full activation to get some of that cheeky stuff that we would do previously, like charge block people or remain on an objective to deny like a secure or loot kind of scenario. So that's a bit of a bummer. And as somebody who's played so much Death Guard, or not Death Guard, as somebody who's played a lot of Vet Guard, now Death Korp, this was like such a key part of the game plan. So it's not the sort of thing where I'm saving a CP every turn for In Death Atonement. I do think that there is some play with this, though, and we'll get to that later. Any quick thoughts on the ploys, guys, before we move on?
No, they just seem solid. I'm really curious right now of like, because I think the big looming question is how kill Marine, and I think Death Korp's not really gonna have a problem with that since they have so many special weapons. And they're gonna be on the better end of the teams for sure, I think.
Yeah, when I look at the operatives, most of their operatives are going to be very similar to how they were before. The Watchmaster, the big change there is the nerf to plasma pistols. That's nothing crazy. Plasma pistol hits on 4s now, so maybe it's not as auto take as it was before.
Yeah,
Hard to get on the range with a gun that rare.
Yeah, yeah.
Death Korp Bruiser gets an extra attack on its Trench Club, so that could be pretty good. Confidant, the Chainsword was buffed a little bit, so it used to be 4 attacks on 4s, 3-4 balance. Now it's 4 on 4s, 4-5. So a little bit better there. Still works as your second in command. You can still group activate it in much the same way as you could before. Gunners, unchanged outside of the changes we've seen to gunners, like the Flamer getting 8-inch range, saturate, 3-3 on 2s on 4 dice. The obvious changes to plasma guns. Medic does medic things. The Sapper, the demo guy, very, very similar to how it was before. I'd say the interesting changes here is that you can pick up your mine token. You can do the pickup marker action like you could on any other marker in the game. Otherwise, the same sort of profile, heavy dash, limited 1, piercing 1, silent, 4 on 2s, 5-6. It is the newer version of the mine where it works within 2 inches. So not as strong as it was in the past, but still very, very good. AP1 hits on 2s, 5-6. That can kill a Marine. I've seen it happen in the past. Sniper, concurrent with current snipers. Troopers, group activate like they did before. The Veteran, very similar to how it was before. I guess it's a little bit better now because it can receive a new guardsman order on its activation. In lieu of its feel no pain, it's got flat damage reduction of 1 less on a damage dice of 3 or more. So
Yeah,
that's
which
a
is a
little bit
thing
nice.
that I've seen. There's really no damage. There's no feel no pain rolls anymore. It is feel no pain damage reduction actually, which it makes it a lot less powerful.
It does, but I think that the one on the Death Korp veteran is comparatively powerful to other feel no pains. For example, like Gellerpox, it's on a 5-up, and that's fine. You know, we'll talk about that in another episode. But like the Death Korp veteran doesn't have to roll; it just gets the damage reduction on damage or normal damage dice rather of 3 or more. So not bad. The bionic arm is the same. Vox operator is the same. Let's talk about 2 operatives that are a little bit different. The Death Korp zealot. Instead of its old thing where you had to spend an AP to activate its support ability, now it just has a 3-inch bubble that gives friendly operatives severe on their weapons. So retain a crit if you don't roll a crit, and that's automatic. It's a support ability, so you can buff it with the comms array. We also have the spotter, which we saw in the faction reveal. This operative is really good. I think that the spotter is awesome now because it can flip operatives out of light cover with its seek light. Operatives can't be secure or obscured, and it can use that on itself and then do the mortar barrage, which is awesome. The mortar barrage is really good now.
Yeah, I really, really like the spotter now. He's awesome.
Yeah, I think that this is an extremely powerful operative. We will come back to this later when we talk about Inquisition. This is one of the few. This is literally, I think this is pretty much the only operative who's like normally an operative on the inquisitorial agents like requisition list, but you cannot take the spotter.
I think you couldn't previously either, if I recall.
You could not take it last edition either, because again, spotter kind of busted.
Yeah, I mean the spotter also was just super busted last edition too. So
yeah, I mean, but once they changed it, they didn't like add it onto the list.
Yeah, because they changed it last edition to basically this. He just didn't get ignore obscuring. But so I personally, after playing a lot of Vet Guard, I don't think the spotter is an auto include. It is good. And I guess it depends on how much light cover there's going to be on the board. I just don't think it's particularly an auto include. But he is much better.
Yeah, I agree. I think that he will be hard to see a lot of play on Vulcus specifically because it is very dense with heavy terrain. But I think that depending on how the meta evolves with people taking, you know, like portable barricades, I think that that's going to be a really popular item pick. And so that could be a very good pick into that. Faction equipment, we've got the chronometer, which no longer gives you the reroll in initiative. It is basically your into the breach dash. You can do it during the first or the second turning point. You've got comms beads, which will let you relay a guardsman order to one specific operative, which could help because you can just relay it directly to the Vox operator. Hand axes, 3-4 damage instead of 3-5. And the one item that I'm really interested in here is the gas bombardment. Lets you place a gas marker in the kill zone. Whenever an operative is within 3 inches of it, subtract 1 from its APL stat. In the ready step of the next strategy phase, remove the marker. Obviously, you can move out of the bubble to get your APL stat fixed. This is one that I'm really interested in. I'm having a hard time developing like the game plan around using it effectively, but it seems like a very strong equipment pick.
Is it, remind me, is it restricted to being put on objectives or no?
In the kill zone, cannot be placed under vantage. That's the only restriction.
Yeah, I mean you can just put it can't put it under vantage in what?
That's it. Can't place it under vantage. The thing about it is it affects all operatives whenever an operative is within 3 inches of it. So
yeah, so it affects friendlies as well. I think it's got a lot of use as a sort of like APL mine instead of a damaging mine. You put in a choke point or something, and like, you know, if your opponent, you know, your opponent really wants to get to a particular area to set up a shot or something, you just put smoke there and so they can get there, but then they can't do anything once they get there.
And that was one thing I was wondering, because I've had a little bit of conflicting information about how like APL works, in the sense where it's like if you moved into the gas bombardment, you wouldn't get your second action, or you generated
So
2 APL. And,
you never generate APL in this edition. you can do as many actions as you have APL currently. And then once you hit that action allotment limit, then your activation is done. So if your APL changes mid-activation, you can do more or less actions.
Gotcha. That makes the play much more clearly defined to me. Kind of like you're saying, you want to use it to, choke off movement. Obviously, you could use it for like a clutch play on an objective if you're really trying to mess with enemy operatives. But I think that's, it's so hard to say if something's like an auto take or not, but that seems like a very, very strong faction equipment choice. TLDR, Death Korp, still good, a little bit different. I think that you're going to see a lot of the same kinds of plays that we saw in the last edition with them, just a lot of just swarming onto objectives.
I like that you can make them all miniature breachers by just giving them hand axes.
Yeah, I like that hand axes go to everyone now. I mean, it felt like, one of the themes for me is that as soon as I like see something here, I'm like, man, I kind of liked the way it was before better, getting that crit damage for 5.
A lot of it was better. Like, I think Death Korp overall got a slight bit nerfed. Not a whole lot. I think they're still totally playable. They're still totally fine. They're a good team. I do think they aren't as good as Vetguard.
Yeah, I feel the same way, but I also don't think that they're like the difference between end of edition Vetguard and start of edition Death Korp feels pretty marginal.
And so let's go ahead to Exaction Squad. Talk about something that is not marginal. I think Exaction Squad got quite a bit better. The faction rules, Ruthless came back, Ruthless Efficiency. It came back in a big, it's got a side grade. So there's no longer any range limit to it. So you can Ruthless Efficiency at any range, and you can only not do it with frag and crack grenades specifically. So that grenade launcher, you can shoot into combat with your grenade launcher now. However, you don't get piercing crits 1 if there's a friendly nearby. So buff, nerf, comes out kind of a wash. It's still good.
Very good, I'd say.
Yeah, Repress comes back. That hasn't changed at all. Your shield still blocks 2 dice. You still always allocate dice first in combat. And then they added a new one called Marked for Justice, which is just in the strategic phase, you pick a dude and your entire team gets punishing against that dude, which is pretty good. And then when he dies, you can then choose someone else.
I will mark them for justice.
Mark for justice.
By that I mean fascistic terror.
Yeah, justice. That's what you just said. Why are you repeating yourself?
Yeah, that is an awesome faction ability. It kind of takes place of the leader's previous ability, no?
Yeah, they had previously had a what is now a firefight ploy to just, when the leader activates, pick somebody, you get Relentless against them. I'd still rather have Relentless, but Punishing's still good. But now this just doesn't cost command points. So,
yeah,
again, buff, nerf, comes out, still good, kind of a wash. These strategy ploys are exactly the same. 2 of them got buffs, 1 of them didn't change, and then Guilt Reveals Itself actually got nerfed. So Guilt Reveals Itself is enemy operatives within 4 inches cannot use cover to prevent themselves from being a valid target, but they can still use it as a cover save. Where before it was just, if you're within 4 inches, you're not in cover, get wrecked. I'm going to shoot you with a shotgun now.
Yeah.
So it's worse, still really good, but worse. It's not really, I don't think I'm going to use it more, but I don't think I'm going to use it less now.
This is also one of my favorite named ploys because it reminds me of the old Inquisition saying of innocence proves nothing.
Well, yeah.
Amazing.
Inviolate Jurisdiction, it just has not changed. Actually, it is, the words have not changed. Its effects have been buffed. So if you're within 2 inches of an objective marker or within 2 inches of an enemy operative, you can reroll one of your defense dice. Previously, 2 inches is control distance of an objective marker. Now the objective marker is 40 millimeters and then 2 inches on top of that. So it's a larger distance that you can get this defense dice reroll. I like Inviolate Jurisdiction. It's pretty good. Dispense Justice is better because it gave Ceaseless to only the shields. Now it just gives Ceaseless to everyone. And then Terminal Decree is also... actually, I think Terminal Decree has not changed at all. Oh, it has. It's gotten better. So Terminal Decree gives you balanced if you are shooting within 6 inches or if you're a gunner, where before it was within 4 inches or you're a gunner. So it increased that balanced range. So it's much, much better now. Turns out 6 inches is a lot easier to get than 4 inches.
Tell me about it, brother.
Yeah, brother.
Then the Firefight Ploys. Long Arm of the Emperor's Law is just a different ploy now. It increases your range weapon rule of any gun you perform a shoot action with by 3 inches. So like 9-inch shotgun, 15-inch Weber, no big deal.
I love webbing with the boys.
Just webbing with the boys. Exact punishments, pretty good. If you get shot or fought, you can, if you survive and you're within 6 inches, you can then shoot or fight them back. I didn't use it before. I don't think I'm going to use it again. Turns out 8 wounds, 4-up save. You don't tend to survive fights. And if they're shooting at you, it probably was something they're not going to survive anyway. And most of your dudes are kind of crap in melee, so you don't want to fight after that. Brutal Backup is the same thing. If you have been fought and you have combat support, the combat support guy can then fight. But again, you're kind of doo-doo caca in melee. So like, unless they fight somebody and then you have a shield giving you support, you could fight with the shield. I still don't think it's particularly good.
Certainly the sort of ploy that you would describe as a crime of opportunity.
Yes. Yeah. I'm sure it will come up more than 0 times ever.
Yeah.
But, like, not a whole lot.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yeah, and then there's Execution Order, which is so good! It's just pick dude, interrupt dude with someone else. Like, it's so good!
Notably, though, that's only during mission actions?
Yes. You can interrupt someone when an enemy performs a mission action. Or, if you use it at the end of the firefight phase, you can select an enemy that controls an objective marker. And then the next time your opponent activates that enemy operative, you can interrupt that activation. So, like, do it at the end of a turn, pick somebody on an objective, and say, okay, if you were going to activate that guy, I'm instead just going to shotgun you in the face. And you don't need to pick a specific Exaction Squad operative. You just can just use anyone nearby. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, we all knew how powerful guard and like interrupting activations was on Into the Dark previously, and so to just have this.
Yeah, the Mandrake Screamer duty, whatever. I don't remember the name.
Oh yeah, the Dirge Maw.
Yeah, it's the exact same as an ability, and we get it as a ploy here, and it's still just as good, even with the more restrictions. Still just as good. And then moving on to the operatives, basically nothing has changed. Everyone's still 2 APL, 4-up save, 8 wounds. Shotguns are still 4/4 damage, hitting on 3s. The I think the subductors are still hit on 4s, but notably you can't change the hit stat of their weapon, so they will always hit on 4s, which is not bad because hitting on 5s was really bad.
Yes.
Oh, and all this, everyone with a shield just gets a shot pistol. It's like, it's not a shotgun, but it's not bad. 3/3 damage, hitting on 4s, range 8-inch. Like, I don't hate it.
Yeah, it's still nice. It's nice to have a shooting option. They didn't have one before if you took the Seductor, right?
Yeah, not at all. I mean, you could give them shot pistols. There was one equipment point or whatever. But yeah, it's nice to just have them in your back pocket. The leader hasn't changed. You still have your Nuncio Aquila, which still, reduces control on an objective by 1, or makes mission actions and pickup cost 1 more. You can still deploy it 6 inches and move it 6 inches. So he's still excellent at just shutting things down. The Castigator has changed a little bit. Most notably, again, you don't have a Feel No Pain anymore. You have your Feel No Pain damage reduction.
Feel some
Instead,
pain.
Feel most of the pain, yeah.
I love pain. Pain is my weapon.
But his engendered focus didn't change. But you can change his save stat, which I don't think anything does. So like whatever.
The arrest looks way better now.
Oh my god, the arrest is much better. In fact, you just cannot perform fallback actions if it's the only enemy in his control range, which is incredible because there's no wound limit on it.
He can arrest
Oh, no.
Marines.
Yeah, that's a fun Marine on 2 wounds. You want to fight me? Because that's your only option. Also, his Excruciator Maul went up in damage. It's now 5/5 instead of 4/4.
With rending
So,
and shock.
you know, yeah, it always had rending. And I think they always had stun,
Yeah.
which is what shock is. But yeah, pretty good. He's pretty good. Chirurgent is the medic. He does medic things. Nothing's changed here. Gunners, the gunner. Talk about a glow up on a model.
Absolutely.
The gunner. The only gunner worth taking before was the grenade launcher, and it was still not worth taking. I think he took the Weber into like Gallerpox sometimes. But like now the grenade launcher hasn't changed. It's 4 dice on 4s, 4/6 piercing 1. Still pretty good with your infinite range balance. But now that you can shoot into melee with the grenade launcher, it's suddenly really good. But I still don't think it's better than now the other two. The heavy stubber used to be 5 dice on 4s, 3/4 reroll all 1s. Whatever. It was okay. Now it's 5 dice on 4s, 4/5 heavy dash. Like, that's awesome. That's a real gun. That's a budget heavy bolter. And they have the sweeping profile. And then the Weber. Holy crap.
Weber
This gun,
is nuts.
The Weber is, real solid.
it's the best shotgun on the team. It's got 12-inch range. It does 4/5 damage. Severe guarantees you a crit. Stun guarantees you the -1 APL. It's just like, yeah, I shoot you, you take -1 APL, and you have to deal with a crit at a minimum. That's amazing.
It's unironic.
This gun is amazing.
It's unironically one of your better ways to deal with Marines, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it is legitimately the auto take on this team. Like, if you pick one model that you always have to take, it's the Weber. You just take it. And then you got the Leashmaster Dog. These two haven't changed, I think, at all, in fact. That's not true. The Leashmaster got a shot pistol for some reason. I guess if you're outside of 6 but within 8, you could still shoot something. But the Leashmaster got a pistol. Otherwise, the dog is the same. Although the dog actually can now do the pickup and place marker actions. So, like, he can pick stuff up now.
But George, you're
can't
forgetting
do
the
it.
most important question. Can I still ask what the dog doing every time he activates?
No,
Okay.
he is in fact immune to that.
They wrote it on the data card?
Yeah, I believe it's a keyword, so
Yeah.
shut the fuck
It
up.
it says bad meme. Don't make the joke again.
Finally balanced.
Yeah.
Sorry, Zach. I made that joke every time I played. Poor Zach.
The Leashmaster and dog still real good. The dog lost his mortal wounds on Apprehend. However, Apprehend now costs 0. So, like, again, buff to one part, nerf to another. I think it's a wash, more or less. So Apprehend used to deal mortal wounds. Then if they wanted to fall back, you had to roll off and then add the difference in wound numbers. And then maybe they can, maybe they can't. Now you just can't fall back, and you hit one worse in melee and shooting, as long as the dog has apprehended you. And again, the apprehend is a 0 AP. So you charge the dog in with your 10-inch charge. You move the Leashmaster up within 6 inches. You change the dog to relentless and melee. You apprehend with the dog, you shoot with the leash master, you fight with the dog. Whatever it is, it's probably dead, even if it's a Space Marine.
Which is fantastic because we all know the question now is, can kill Marine?
And I think Exaction Squad can sort of kill Marine.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous because, like, I know we keep asking the question of, like, can they actually do it? But losing Piercing 1 was a major hit to their ability to do that. And I'm not quite
they
sure.
lost Piercing crits. We'll talk about it in the equipment. They can sort of get it back. Mallocator is the same except better. He still does mission actions or the pickup action for 1 less, or its unique action Veriscant it can do for 1 less. So if you're not needing to do mission actions, you can do his that guy. I always get crits. Oh no, it's not. Yeah, it gets severe against that guy, right? And now it's visible instead of line of sight, so it's actually useful instead of never coming up. And if a weapon has severe, aka the Weber, it gains lethal 5 up. So like, just more crits, thanks. Mallocator, he was always really good, but now he's really good. I like him a lot. And then we come to the operative that I do not know how to feel about, the marksman. I mean, he's got a shotgun sniper. It does 4/4 damage, except it's not 4/4. It's 4/0 devastating 4. Why, like, snipers are 3/6, but 3 of that is devastating.
To be fair,
4/4.
The idea of a sniper shotgun is already stupid enough as it is. So I feel like that level of stupid requires a level of stupid to his profile.
Joe, we've had this conversation. 40k is stupid. I love it. This is stupid, and I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's still fine. Still hits on 2s, got concealed position, silent. You can spend an action point to give it lethal 5 and ignores obscuring. So like, he's a good sniper. Like, yeah, if you roll a bunch of crits, you're more likely to just dumpster someone faster than a normal sniper. But you also can't kill a Space Marine in the same way as a normal sniper can. It's hit and miss. I think he's good. I think you take him almost all the time. Because, like, you can still make him mobile, and he's just a normal shotgun at that point. 4 dice on 3s, 4/4. So, like, he's still fine. As a sniper, I don't like him. He's doing his best sniper cosplay, is how I think to explain that.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got an executioner shotgun. It makes sense that it's like different. And to your point, I understand the critique that the crits aren't going to be as good for killing Marines, but I also think that devastating wounds are going to emerge as one of the strongest mechanics in Kill Team 2024, at least in general.
I still think it's piercing. That's why there's no the piercing 2 guns or melta guns, right?
Right. I think
they're the same.
Okay. Yeah, it would be a wild prediction for me to say that, and we have certainly not made very many of those. But yeah, I think that devastating wounds are still going to be really good.
Hey guys, Gellerpox is going to be the best team. Don't forget it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Market 0.
I think, I mean, mortal wounds are mortal wounds. They haven't changed. It's interesting, mostly because it does 0 damage on crits. It's all front-ended on mortal wounds, that if you just save the normals, then you don't take any more damage, where snipers, you still take more damage. Like I said, it's snipers are 3/6, not 3/3 with some front-end damage. Or 3/0 with some front-end damage. I don't know. Again, he's doing his best sniper cosplay. Then you have the Revelatum, which is much, much better. His pistol lost his mortal wounds, but now does 3/3. It's only lethal 5 in pistol range, but he doesn't lose. His ballistic skill doesn't get worse out at infinite range. Like, he's got buffs, he's got nerfs. His first in the field movement thing, doesn't have fly anymore, but his support ability doesn't require him to be within 6 inches, just visible, and then it gives you Seek Light and Obscured. So, like, again, I think his abilities have been buffed, and it more than makes up for the nerf to his first in the field and his guns. So he's a better operative, and which is a good thing. Although he's got like anti-synergy with his own abilities. First in the field is not useful if you can't score points on turn 1 anymore. And then Spot requires you to be back with the rest of your team. So like,
I mean, it could be useful to, like, if you need just that little bit of extra movement to get into a good position to spot.
Yeah, that's about it. It's got like anti-synergy for me, but it's still good. Still, it's better to have that an option instead of no option.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're up to Subductors. They get their shot pistols. They always hit on 4s in melee, and then the Vigilance are the shotgun warriors. They can shoot while within control range of an enemy operative, but not if they have charged during that activation or if it's a counteraction. So
If you get charge passed.
Yeah, who's going to do that? If someone's charging a shooting team, it's because they want to rip their face off.
Well, I think they're definitely not going to do that to a Vigilant now because they know the ability exists. So, like, it works in the sense that it's a deterrent. So that's what's nice about it.
I mean, it's also a way for them to kill an operative if, like, a melee operative charges them and they somehow survive the combat.
True.
Yeah, but the biggest thing is there's no room. Like, there's you can fill up, I think, this entire team with specialists and never take a warrior, which is the Vigilant and Subductor.
Yeah.
So like, this is not a powerful enough ability to drop someone else.
I think I would agree with that.
And then Vox Signifier, he has not changed, and he still can drop an APL on someone, invisibility with no range restriction. He's amazing. So yeah, most of the team has gotten buffed. The faction rules have gotten buffed. The operatives have more or less gotten buffed. Still up on the air on the marksman if it's a buff or not. And then the faction equipment is also, I think, overall been buffed. So you can give everyone manacles as their first faction equipment, which roll 2 dice or 1 if it's operative with 9 or more wounds. And if any of them are 4 up, they cannot perform the fallback action, and they get that action refunded.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's fine.
We've seen this. It's consistent with a lot of the chain hook abilities where it's a little bit more consistent, but it doesn't eat the AP.
Yeah, it's especially powerful if you charge a Subductor into a Space Marine and you can make that work.
Yeah.
That's like where its key benefit is. Special issue shells, once per turning point, when a friendly Exaction squad shoots, you can select a combo shotgun, the executioner shotgun, the scope shot pistol, or a shot pistol. And then that until the end of the action, it can either get Saturate, pretty good, Torrent, 1 inch, but no more than one other target, still pretty good. I'll take a Torrent shotgun.
Yeah.
Or a Torrent sniper shotgun. Or Piercing 1. Not Piercing crits, just Piercing 1, but only if I have a save stat of 3 up or better. Kind of amazing, and always taking it. Just all the time.
Yeah, very flexible.
Yeah. And then Strobing Phosphor Lumen. Just everybody gets, if you're fighting against or retaliating against a friendly Exaction squad operative, or shooting as well, within 2 inches of you, you cannot reroll your attack dice of 1. So like literally all your 1s are stuck as 1s. It's got significantly reduced range. It's now on every 1 though, and it only works if you roll 1s. This is just worse. Much worse than it used to be. And I don't know if you really take it. And then what you will always take is Reinforced Mirror Visor, because your entire team just gets to ignore changes to your APL stat, and you can't be affected by shock weapon rule. So like, your medic does medic things, and then when he revives someone, nobody is affected by the negative APL.
Oh, whoa.
So, you take special issue shells and reinforced mirror visor, and then you think about the other two options.
So I'm looking at Exaction as a team that is just overall better now. It seems really, really strong. I like just being able to shoot into combat at any range.
Any range.
Do you think they'll be good enough?
I do think they will be good enough. What I don't think has happened is I don't think that their overall game plan has changed because I still have security and seek and destroy as their archetypes. And so I think their overall game plan, from the like 10 or so games I played of them last edition, was that if you are crossing into your opponent's territory, you are either making a mistake or you've tabled them. And I don't think that has changed in this edition either. So I think they're gonna always take security, and they're almost never gonna take seek and destroy. But maybe being able to shoot into melee at any range might change that. But I do think their game plan is more or less the same. Stay in your territory, keep your opponents out of your territory, and just like control two objectives, and then do the hold them back equivalent tack up.
But say it with me, gang. They're going to struggle into elites.
I don't think they will. I mean, not more than any other team, because they have 11 bodies. The dog leash master combo can put a hurting on elites. The marksman can put a hurting on a lot of elites because all of the crit damage is front loaded as mortals. It gets past feel no pains. It gets past damage reduction. You give yourself lethal 5 and severe and punishing. So I think they'll be fine.
Phosphor lumens are going to be like a decent pick into Marines too, because if you're hitting on 3s, the only things that you're going to be rerolling are 1s and 2s.
Yeah, I think they're going to be fine into elites. I don't think they're going to auto win. I don't think they're going to auto lose. It'll be an actual
It'll be a game.
It'll be a game.
Before we get into the Kasrkin from Joe, I do want to ask you guys one quick question about maybe a loophole that I've seen with Death Korp. So in Death Atonement, use this firefight ploy when a ready friendly Death Korp operative is incapacitated. If it isn't within control range of enemy operatives, before it's removed from the kill zone, it can immediately perform one free action. Great. Not as good as it was before, but that's how it's worded. Death Korp Medic. The first time during each turning point that another friendly Death Korp operative would be removed from the kill zone as incapacitated. When visible to and within 3 of this operative, you can use this rule. Does this mean you can In Death Atonement an operative and then revive it with the medic?
Does the medic have a carve out that says if you In Death Atone, you cannot do this?
I do not see it.
Then I think yes.
That's what I was thinking. So that could be some interesting play. I mean, In Death Atonement is very much like do a mission action on an objective that in a position where you're able to do so, or take a shot with somebody and to be able to get that shot and then revive your gunner. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. Joe, you want to tell us a little bit about the Kasrkin?
I sure do. Everyone's favorite worst faction. So Kasrkin.
I'm sorry, it was everyone's favorite meh faction. Thank you very much.
Everyone's favorite meh faction. Sorry. So Kasrkin, they are 10 bodies. They are currently able to take. So they have the combat medic, the demo trooper. They've gunner with flamer, grenade launcher, hotshot volley, melta, plasma, and gun butt. Then recon trooper, Kasrkin sergeant has all the standard loadouts that he could have previously, which was bolt pistol power weapon, hotshot las gun, and then pistol and power weapon, and then plasma pistol and chainsword. Other than the trooper, you can only include, let's see. So some Kasrkin rules refer to hotshot weapon. This is a ranged weapon that includes hotshot in its name. That includes the hotshot marksman rifle, so make sure you remember that. And then let's see. You can only have up to 4 of the gunners, so you are likely taking grenade launcher, hotshot, volley, melta, and plasma. Which is awesome considering there is no limit on taking the demo trooper in addition to that as well. So you have a lot of AP on this team.
Yeah, but you can't take a sniper with all those. So maybe you don't take the plasma gun, you take a sharpshooter, because I do think.
I think you
can be
drop the
pretty
hot
good.
shot last for the marksman, because I believe the marksman doesn't have concealed position either.
I mean, I also think that you could drop
We'll
the
get to it.
flamer in a lot of matchups. The one thing that's kind of stood out to me as weird is how some flamers get deluged to take operatives out of light cover and some don't. And the ones that don't, I mean, they're still not as great.
Saturate? I think I've seen saturate on every flamer so far.
Oh, I'm talking about how some flamers like Volgrar or the Flamaboy for the commandos, if they're within 4 inches, they get Seek Light.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. It could be very similar to where it is now, where if you're really trying to focus on piercing, you would just drop the flamer and take the sniper. But I mean, you're right, though. Like, you could maybe drop like a plasma gun if you really wanted to against some matchups. I think the flamer is really only going to see play against like your guardsman equivalent type of teams.
Yeah, where it is pretty good there.
Certainly better than it was.
Anywho, so back to Kasrkin. So their faction rule. Skill at arms. The dice are gone. They have, in my opinion, a much better ability now. So basically, at the beginning of each strategic gambit, you select a skill at arms for each of them to have. So they're similar to guardsman orders in that they affect your entire team. So we have light them up. Whenever Kasrkin are shooting, they have the severe weapon rule, which is fan-fucking-tastic. Strike fast. Whenever you're performing reposition, add an inch to its move stat. Also fantastic. Ice in your veins. Whenever a Kasrkin is fighting or retaliating, or an operative is shooting it, the first time an attack dice inflicts normal damage of 4 or more, inflict 1 less damage on it. Awesome. This effectively gives them 1 extra wound against teams that are basically always doing 4 or more damage.
Mm-hmm.
Like Pathfinders.
And for Cadia, which was basically a carryover, add 1 to the attack stat of all friendly melee operatives' weapons to a maximum of 4, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's real good.
And then we get to some of their strategic ploys. Elimination pattern. I believe this is functionally unchanged. Whenever a friendly Kasrkin operative is shooting with a hot shot weapon against a target that it's not in cover, that weapon has the piercing crits rule, or piercing 1 if it's a hot shot volley gun. This is good. I like this a lot for the appeal of the hot shot volley gun. Makes it a lot better.
Yeah, but how often are you shooting at things that are not in cover?
So if you, yeah, you're right. Yeah, fair.
Yeah, like this is the problem with elimination pattern in the last edition, is that you don't take it because your opponent isn't silly enough to just not be in cover.
If you're running up, and hitting them from 2 inches, then yeah.
I mean, it can also get some play against like melee teams who are charging you and positions where maybe you were not in
Generally,
cover.
though, if you're sticking to cover, then your opponent's going to end up in cover after charging you. So
yeah, that's a very reasonable point.
And then against from cover, whenever an operative is shooting a friendly Kasrkin operative that is in cover, you can reroll 1 of your defense dice. This is okay. You're maybe taking this once in a blue moon, but probably not very often. 4-up saves are very swingy. Clearance sweep. Place 1 of your clearance markers within the kill zone. Whenever a friendly Kasrkin within 5 horizontally of that marker is shooting an operative within 5 horizontally of that marker, the friendly operatives can have the balanced rule, and then you remove it in the next step of the strategy phase. Really good getting balance on your weapons. This is basically incentivizing you to run up and just like hit people in 2 inches, especially if you have like your Melta and your Plasma and stuff like that. So really good.
So it's basically a 10-inch bubble for balanced and shooting.
Yep, really good.
Yeah, I think they're definitely changed Kasrkin to be more of a like mid close range shooting team, which is a pretty interesting design space to be. And I think elimination pattern and clearance sweep, and then strike fast is actually really pretty good combo.
Yeah, it's really good. And then this is probably their best ploy. Select 1 Kasrkin operative that's more than 3 from friendly enemy operatives. That operative and each other friendly operative, both within 3 inches of that operative, and more than 3 from enemy operatives, can immediately perform the dash action in any order of your choice. You cannot use this during the first turning point.
So outside of the rider about the first turning point, that should be pretty much unchanged, no?
Yeah, yes, it is. But this is really good in the second turning point, especially if you're playing KG in the first turning point. It lets you kind of correct some of that behavior if you set it up right.
Now that you don't have to do this action to basically score your faction tack up, this is like even better because you can use it
Oh.
in a much more dynamic way than just trying to score 2 points with it.
Yeah, because you can, what is it? Light them up to get severe, elimination pattern to get piercing crits, which guarantees you, severe guarantees you a crit, and then clear and sweep to give balanced, and just like rock up with a normal ass 3-4, gun, and just like dumpster anything that isn't a Space Marine, more or less.
Yeah, I mean, it does like that sort of combination of abilities gets a little bit worse as the turning point goes on, specifically since Light 'em Up only gives you severe against ready enemy operatives. But certainly a good way to start the turning point.
All right, firefight ploys. This is where I get spicy for me. Seize the initiative. Use this firefight ploy at the end of the firefight phase, excluding the final firefight phase. In the initiative step of the next strategy phase, when you roll off deciding initiative, you can do one of the following: reroll your dice or force your opponent to reroll their dice. Fucking wild. So good. You there's a good chance you're using this every time it comes up. So good. So good. Cover retreat. When a firefight use a firefight play when a friendly Kasrkin is performing the fallback action and is visible to within 6 of another ready and friendly Kasrkin operative that's not within control range of any operatives. After the enemy operatives or after the friendly operative is finished moving, but before the fallback action ends, that other friendly operative can immediately perform a free shoot action. Really, really good. Fantastic. If you're it plays into your play style of close range shooting. If you're getting charged and you're able to get out of it, you're basically able to get a free shot off with one of your heavy weapons. Really, really good.
Yeah, I think it's even better than it used to be, which is just let you fall back for 1 AP.
Neutralized target to me is the key play on this team. When your Kasrkin is shooting an operative that's not in cover, reroll any or all of your attack dice. Now, specifically because they're not in cover, I know we've been talking about them. There's an equipment on this team that makes pretty much all of the not cover stipulation pretty much negligible, and we'll talk about that in a second. And then the last one is give no ground. At the end of the firefight, during a friendly Kasrkin's operative's activation, or at the end of the firefight phase, select one of your mission markers or an objective marker. Until the end of the activation or until the start of the next turning point, respectively, if the total APL of Kasrkin's operatives contesting that marker is 2, the total APL of and the total APL of enemy operatives contests that it is the same that friendly Kasrkin control that marker. So basically, if your enemy has a bunch of guys on a point, your Kasrkin guys get basically the same total APL so that they can't just control it. Really good.
No, it is specifically 2. So if you have one Kasrkin on it and they have one dude on it, you control that point.
The equipment is where I was going to talk about the whole no cover situation. So here we go to their equipment. Foregrip, whenever you're within 3 shooting a guy, all of the its range weapon on stated card, excluding weapons that include pistol in their name. You have accurate 1, really good, really, really good. Long range scope, here's the big one. And bear in mind, everyone gets this. Whenever a friendly Kasrkin operative is shooting an operative that is more than 6 inches from it, in the roll attack dice, that if you retain any critical successes, you have the saturate weapon rule. So remember, you have the thing that gives you severe, you can guarantee this. With your I forget what the name of it is. But you can give your weapon severe and basically get native saturate, which means they're not in cover, which turns on half of your ploys and half of your firefight ploys.
So the problem with this is saturate does not mean they're not in cover. They just can't roll. They can't retain cover dice. It's the same thing as the old no cover. So it doesn't actually synergize with any of the stuff that says you have to be not in cover to get this benefit.
That seems dumb. That seems very dumb.
Well, that is true. I mean, the natural synergy with Light 'em Up is really powerful just in itself.
Yeah, but this is, again, that's been the problem I had with old Kasrkin, is they have a bunch of stuff that says not in cover and nothing except get within 2 inches to provide that. Or your opponent being totally brain dead.
Fair. All right, Relics of Cadia. Once per turning point, when a friendly operative is shooting, if you roll 2 or more fails, discard one of them and retain one of your normal successes, and retain the other as a normal success instead. Fantastic.
Real good.
Real good.
A relic of the old elite points, if you would.
Yes, very much. Combat daggers are exactly the same way they were in the old edition. They're 3 attacks, hitting on 4 is 3/4. Basically, you can make any and all of these go to 4 attacks. Basically, have worse Space Marine fists, but still 4 attacks. Hitting on 4s 3/4 is really really good. Into hordes, it can actually be really good at picking off Marines that are at low health as well. You can make everyone pretty good or decent at melee, I would say, and that's really really good. So let's talk about some of these operatives, guys. So Sergeant is 9 wounds, 4 up save, just like the rest of the team. And it has all the same options. You're likely just taking the chainsword and the plasma pistol, though the appeal of a power weapon here is actually pretty good. I would be more tempted to take power weapons into probably elites or more dedicated melee hordes versus the plasma pistol. But I mean, the fact that the chainsword is 4/5 means you're 2-tapping most models of the game, so it's a little hard to not want to use that. And then it has a new ability, Tactical Command. Select one Kasrkin operative. Select a skillet arm for that operative to have instead of the one it currently has until the ready step of the next phase. Alternatively, if you instead of resolving this effect above, if your clearance sweep marker is in the kill zone, you can remove it and place it again. Really good, really flexible. It lets you correct if your opponent is playing differently. It lets you make your guys that you need to be good at really something specific to be good at that specific thing while everyone else retains your benefits. Really, really good. And he's also APL3 now, which is really, really good. I like this new change of like the Imperium teams seem to have this new thing of if you're a high-ranking elite of any form of the Ashen Militarum, you're getting 3 APL, which is fucking awesome. The Death Watch or the Death Korp guy doesn't get to a 3 APL, unfortunately, though.
No, it's just the Scions, so Kasrkin and Aquilons.
Yeah.
But like that's really cool.
It's awesome. Your medic is your standard medic, works exactly the same way all the other medics do. And then we got the Demo Troopers. The Demo Trooper, this is, if y'all remember, this is the one I was really interested in to see how it would turn out of like in terms of damage. So let's read its Meltamine ability. This operative is carrying your Meltamine marker. It can perform the pickup marker action on that marker, and whenever it performs the place marker action on that marker, it can immediately perform a free dash action. The marker cannot be placed within an enemy operative's control range. So basically, this is exactly the same as the Death Korp mine placer, and then here's the actual damage. The first time a Meltamine is within your operatives or within another operative's control range. So bear in mind, this can affect you as well. Remove that marker and inflict 2d6 plus 3 on that operative. So at a minimum, this is 5 damage. At a maximum, this is 15 damage.
Gross. So gross.
Insane. And
it's an average of 10 damage.
First off, average of 10 damage, which is already insane. But it's also minimum 5, which that means even Marines that go into it, they're like, oh, I'll be fine. With 5 damage will significantly hit their breakpoints to where they're not a negligible threat as much as they were previously. You can only do it once, unfortunately. Obviously, it'd be ridiculous if you could do more than once, but really, really good. It's crazy how good it is.
Yeah. And it stops the action that set it off. So any movement action you do that sets it off, you're done.
Yep, and then blast padding. This was the same as it was in the last edition. So basically, whenever somebody's shooting this with a blaster torrent, that you can reroll one of your defense dice, and they're not affected by the devastating rule, which is pretty nice benefit on him.
Unless they're the target. But also another thing, X-inch devastating X.
And then your gunners
splash.
Your gunners are all your standard gunners. I think you're always taking plasma melta and grenade launcher, maybe the hotshot valley as well. But
before we move on, I just wanted, because I wasn't paying a lot of attention. We were going through Death Korp. The Meltamine and the other mine from Death Korp, since they are markers, when the mine people die, they will place those markers due to the place marker rider, where if you die, your marker just gets placed. So even if you die, that mine's going down.
Very interesting.
Ooh, that could be very detrimental depending on where you put that guy.
Yeah.
Whoopsies. Anyways, so gunners are all your standard gunners. Nothing too fancy there. The hit on 3s, though, Kasrkin hitting on 3s, which I haven't mentioned yet, is awesome. Recon Trooper, he's still one of the best recon in the game. Recon Tray Kill Zone. The relocate strategy ploy costs 0 CP for this operative. And then if this operative's in the Inquisitorial kill team, you can replace it. Or you still use this rule, This takes precedent over the inquisitorial requisition rule. Awesome. And then Ausspec Scan is the standard Ausspec scan that I think everybody gets. Until the start of the next operative is incapacitated, whenever a Kasrkin operative is shooting an enemy within 8 inches, he cannot be obscured. Yep, that is the standard Ausspec Scan that everyone's been getting.
The new standard for Auspecs, yeah.
And it is, in fact, much better than it used to be.
Yes.
All of the different Auspecs is, in fact, it is better than that.
Sharpshooter. So he is unfortunately, your sniper is retaining concealed position. So that means you only get one sniper shot off on silent with him. However, he is better than the I think he's actually the exact same as the Aquilons in that his profile is his mobile profile is still hitting on 3s, which is the standard, and it has the standard profile of the hotshot lasguns, which makes taking him just not great. I would honestly, I would stress probably not taking him, and I'll explain why when we get to the troopers in a second.
So here's what I would consider taking him is because he has a camo cloak rule. So you ignore saturate, so you'll always take your cover saves, and you get an extra cover save. So like, yes, he only gets 1 silent shot, but you're always retaining 2 cover saves. That makes him shockingly durable. And I know this firsthand because the Jaegers have the same thing, and my Jaeger sharpshooter took 2 crack grenades to the face and laughed it off and then blew away that Phobos.
Okay, fair enough. But anyway, so the Kasrkin troopers, they get free smokes and free stuns. Really good. I don't know if you all know this, but smokes and stuns are really good this edition, and you always have to take 1 trooper. This is so good you might actually want to take multiple troopers. I'm not sure you would necessarily drop for it.
I think you just take near maximum allotment of gunners and all the specialists. Yeah. I think you're just always still taking only 1 trooper.
Still, having the trooper have access to free smoke and free stun is really great. Vox Trooper. This is one of the best APL guys in the game. Literally anybody that is, or did they change it? Is it anybody? Still anybody? Yep. Select the guy, give it an EPL, and you can do it twice. So basically, this guy is never leaving your deployment zone until the last turning point, and you're just basically always giving out 3 APL to your guys. You notably, you cannot give the Sergeant 4 APL, which, of course, why would you? That would be ridiculous. So, Kasrkin, let's talk about Kasrkin. They are going to be one of the best elite killing teams in the game, if not the best. They're going to be competing with Aquilons, in my opinion. Them being 10 bodies, them having such reliable and good shooting, them being okay at melee overall, they might be one of the best mid-range teams in the game too now. That mine is super devastating and is literally likely going to kill whatever steps on it, or in the case of Marines, severely maim it. Particularly in the Volkus environment, because bear in mind, like, Volkus is so condensed, being able to place those mines and even you get a little cheeky with it and use the equipment mine to really create just like a big problem for your opponent if they got solid choke points to put them in. The Sergeant 3 APL is crazy. So you can very
so good. It's so good.
You can very consistently charge, fight, shoot.
Tactical Man gives you incredible flexibility.
Oh yeah, I mean that too.
And being able to change your clearance sweep token. I think this team is gonna play very, very differently.
Yes,
it's gonna be a melee team, except instead of getting into melee, you want to get within 2 inches of your opponent so that you can just abuse them not being in cover.
And bear in mind, you're able to do that pretty consistently because giving them you can give all of them 7-inch movement. So them getting within 2 inches is very, very hard to avoid.
And you get free relocates as long as you choose the recon. So just you move a block of dudes up within 3 inches of the recon, so they're out of blast range, but they still can benefit from relocate. And the amount of free movement this team is going to have is kind of bonkers. I think it's going to be pretty cool.
I think I think if I'm thinking from a meta perspective, I'm really liking Kasrkin because I know for a fact we're going to be drowning in elites across the board now. And I really, even with the fact that a lot of the best elite teams can ignore piercing, I think their shooting is still so good that even reducing the melta, and that's the thing too, they also just have no way around the mine. The mine is just going to go off and it doesn't have any piercing or anything. So you plop that sucker on an objective, you're or particularly if you can put it on a choke point, that would be the best thing you can do. Obviously, because you don't want to put it on an objective where you have to go keep doing it. But it's really good on missions where you really only have to boop that button. You particularly have to only boop that button once, or dropping it on one of their mission tokens, or putting it on on a kill confirm token they really need. It's really flexible, and I think using that mind is going to be key to dealing with elites, particularly.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really good team.
Oh,
And it's going to be really, really good on Inquisition.
Yeah, I think that this and probably Exaction are going to be your two choices, your two best choices anyway for Inquisition.
And Sisters of Silence.
So,
they're also still pretty good. Yeah.
No, Sisters of Silence are mandatory with how Warp Coven is right now.
Yeah, because of the way that Warp Coven has dialed the psychic up to 11, and it's really, really good. Sisters of Silence is your only choice on Inquisition going into Warp Coven.
And that's the thing too, is there's no roster restrictions now, right?
None. There's no roster. You could just, if you have every team that can go on Inquisition, you can just show up to a game and be like, yeah, I'm running Breachers, and the next game, Exaction, and the next game, Death Korp.
Oh my god, how many models is that? Is that 40 plus models?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
More. 50.
Yeah, that's the thing. We'll talk about Inquisition at some point, but it's funny with Inquisition because that's the big hurdle to the team too, is owning 50 models and wanting to paint 50 models in a team or in a game where you're historically only painting 10.
Yeah, you can just, you have a whole ass combat patrol, a whole ass Imperial team, army in Inquisition, the team.
I am a little bummed out that Inquisitorial agents couldn't take Grey Knights just as a nod to the Grey Knights players. That would have been nice, but anyway.
I'm not surprised that Inquisitorial agents are good, and the thing is,
you were right. You were right, Mark.
I mean, it's, I don't want to make any bold declarations about them now because I want to actually see them on the tabletop. But what I'm thinking is, it's shocking to me how Blades of Cain are not a good team, because you would think that a company that sells models would want a team where you need to buy multiple boxes of models would be a good team that you would really, really want to play.
If I ever do get a chance to talk to the designers about Blades of Cain specifically, I guarantee you the answer is going to be, we were afraid team-wide APL3 was too powerful, so we wanted to tone them down. Because that's the thing, they're the only team in the game that has more than 6 models with APL3 across the board.
No, Troop has that too. There's the same number of models. And Troop is just a Void Dancer Troop. I think Troop is just a better Blades of Cain now.
Oh, sorry, I was not considering Troop because I just no one's considering Troop anymore.
Well, it's good again.
Yeah,
I might bring them back out.
Really, I've actually not looked at Troop at all.
Yeah.
Is there a single team that's getting classified in a year that is bad?
I don't think there's a single team in this game that is bad.
Now, you would say.
Yeah.
Because, okay, let me rephrase that. Is there a single team that's going to be classified in a year that is not good and or top of the tier?
You mean the ones that are going to be declassified?
Yeah, declassified.
Or the ones that...
Yes. Because it seems to me... Because
I don't know which ones.
Commandos, Death Korp, Novitiates, Pathfinders, Legionnaires, Corsairs, Blooded, Phobos, Troop, Warp Coven, Hunter Clade, Gellerpox, Starstriders, Warblade.
The answer is yes. There are definitely teams in there that are what would be lower on the pile, but they're just, they're still just good instead of great.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just, it's obviously not going to matter because I think everyone's still freaking out about the classified system.
I mean, I don't think that there's a team in the game right now that is as bad as release Crute or release
certainly
Exaction or release Salvagers. These teams, we set a bar for how bad a team can be in the previous edition of Kill Team, and I think that nobody on release of Kill Team 2024 is down there.
Not even Hyrotech, which was the bar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited to continue diving deep into these teams. Obviously, this is going to take us some time. We each did 3 teams, and this podcast is going to be a little over an hour probably after editing. So stick with us, listener. You'll be getting a lot of this.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Vox Screen. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. Please follow, subscribe, and leave us a review. Any of those things are going to help us grow. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back soon with another episode.